welcome to All Things Woman, where we dig, uproot, and plant seeds to help you flourish as a woman. Today, I have my girl in the room, Tierra Banks, y'all. Today, we will be talking about the mother and daughter relationship. I'm super excited about this, y'all, because for years, I have watched this woman build the platform, first of all, for this conversation. I have watched her dig with mothers and daughters. I have watched her, just stand in the gap concerning this topic. And I feel like it's so important because for a long time, it's just something that is a great conversation. We really don't talk much about it. And so I'm super excited to have this conversation because it's long overdue on many of platforms, and she does an amazing job at making sure that it is a conversation. And I got her on the show today, y'all, so I'm excited about it. I'm excited. So first, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you on here. And before we get into our questions, if you could tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got started with talking about the mother-daughter relationship.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. This moment means everything to me. So how I got started. First of all, I got started pretty much with these folks. Yes. So in 2015, you know, Pastor Judah Early allowed me to, launch Mended in Mount Hebron. We did it as an outreach function. And, we just saw how needed it was. The demand was there. And believing that it was a one-time thing, I thought the mission was complete. And then after that, it was just like, no, God clearly showed me that there was more to be done. I remember Charlene telling me, no, this is a kingdom assignment.
Yes.
And so from there, we started trying to just gather women wherever we could. So in the libraries, you spoke for us. We just really just try to bring women together to act, like you said, just have this taboo conversation. As it is today, post-pandemic, we've done a lot virtually. I've been able to successfully launch Mended Relationships, mother-daughter coaching virtually. So that's going amazing. We're able to really expand our reach. So I work with mothers and daughters all over the country. I've even had some, clients outside the country. Thank you. So wherever we can go, we still are, faithful to the city of Cleveland. But wherever, God take me, I'm going. I'm having this conversation. I'm standing in the gap, and I'm showing mothers and daughters how to get along.
Yes, y'all. I believe in giving flowers while people are still yet alive. And I want to say, when Tierra launched this, Tierra pulled me back into coming back on the scene with teaching. And I thank you for that. I tell people all across, a lot of people be like, so you do this? And I'm like, y'all, yes, I've been doing it for a while. And I remember going through the phase of, I'm good. And, I had stepped down from leading over the women's ministry. And Tierra came to me and was just like, I want you to teach. And I just was like, all right, girl. And she truly believed in what was inside of me, y'all, which it awakened something that was just lying dormant. And I want to thank you for that. I'm so serious. Simply for the opportunity to have this conversation and trust what was inside of me to speak. I know you may be like, girl, but I'm serious.
You're so welcome, but you did so forcefully. Listen, you naturally just but on this zone, like, hey.
But it takes that moment for somebody to truly be like, hey, come on, we need what's inside of you. And I think that's so important on this journey of us walking into purpose. So I always honor you for bringing me back into this, and I have not stopped since. So thank you for that. Thank you.
No. Okay, so before we go on, I also have to say thank you, though, for being a pusher, because you pushed me, so many days. I would call you crying, I cannot even do this no more. My life falling apart, I can't help them put theirs together. And you just always been that constant push. So thank you for sharing your platform, with me. So Full circle moment. Love it. Love you too.
All right, y'all. Now that we got all that mushy stuff out the way, let's dig in. So like I said, we are talking about the mother-daughter relationship. So my first question is, what do you see most methods that people are trying to use, the mother-daughters are trying to use to heal their relationship? Like, what do you see most amongst your coaching sessions? Because I know you talk to many, so are they handling it more on the natural end or the biblical side of things?
So I do work with all people.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are believers. Most of them have not been. And that was, you know, a challenge for me, you know, like
I can only imagine.
I gotta pray before I start and pray while they talking, like, Jesus, you know.
Give me wisdom, Lord.
Absolutely. But what I see people, I mean, like trying to heal, but really avoiding.
Okay.
I see a lot of avoidance. I see a lot of deflection. And more than anything, I think in our human minds, like we think the way to solve our problems is to find the root. Like we're so devoted to finding the root. It almost turns into blame. It's not almost. It does turn into blame. So most times, like when I'm meeting mothers and daughters, it's like, hey, we're never going to end this argument if you're like so focused on
where it started.
Her knowing that it was her fault that she messed your life up. Like, that's not the focus here. You know, like, okay, we got to talk about the pain and what happened, but our focus has to shift to actually wanting a better relationship. And, you know, getting a better relationship is not just finding blame.
Yeah. Hey, that's so good, because I think, you know, in this culture where we're woke and we're aware and we, you know, I believe that there is a few of us that really are like, hey, I'm trying to do better. I want to do better. And to know that you can get lost in so much of the root that it actually don't get you nowhere. I never would have thought that. I never ever would have thought that. But I can see how it can become a blame game. Like, you did this. No, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And yes, that's really good. Really, 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 really good. So, with that, why do you think people choose to want to dig so hard, like want to get to that root, or want to, how can I say, want to avoid or deflect? Like, why?
People want to be better. Like, people want to heal. Like, it is so much pain in people right now. Like, people really want to heal. And I think that it's all in the pursuit of happiness. Like, I'm trying to figure out why. Like, even myself, I find myself in these cycles, like, why am I feeling this way? Why does this keep coming up? But, you know, when you hyper focus on that, then, you know, it keeps you from living. So ultimately, I know that when I meet with these women, like, they want to get to the bottom of like, what caused this? Like, I want to feel better. Like, I don't want to hurt anymore. Like, why don't she like me? Why can't we understand? So I know that's the reason, you know, behind it. I don't think that people want to avoid. But then I think that culture, again, like that whole contrast, biblical healing versus like cultural healing, like culture is telling us, I mean, it's teaching us to avoid. Like, we're hearing so much talk about creating boundaries. I know I was having this conversation the other day, like, hey, so if we're all at this table and we all create boundaries, one of us is going to, you know, disrespect this boundary on yours. Because if we all got boundaries, so if culture is telling us to create boundaries, culture is telling us to remove anyone from our life that's causing us pain or discomfort, or, you know, isn't building us up or lifting us up. It's like, that's what culture is telling us is the, you know, that's the way to go. And that's what they're doing. And that does give you temporary fulfillment, because now, you know, I'm absent of the source of my pain. Like, I don't have my mom. I'm not talking to her. I'm not talking to my daughter. So I don't hear her being disrespectful. I don't hear my mom being dismissive of my feelings. So I'm feeling better now, but it's like a whole nother problem brewing. And that's where the avoidance, to me, like, that's the danger that I don't know that anybody is really talking about.
Yes, because we are truly in the culture where it's like, because I need to protect my peace and I needed this. And it's like, what is the proper line, or what is too much? What is too, like, okay, yeah, no, you can't let them do that. Like, how would you say we need to measure this boundary, if there's even a measurement?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. Like, I think for me, it's like when I'm working with believers, I'm free to say, listen, well, what the Bible say?
Yes.
I mean, because the Bible tells us what sadness produces. You know, it tells us, like, when we go through troubles, like, we gain perseverance, endurance.
Yes.
You know, it builds our character, like, in suffering. So if we are removing something that, you know, that causes us pain or suffering, then where are we getting those things that the Bible says,
you know, we're going to get if we suffer. Yes.
And then the Bible tells us to, like, make room, you know, for people's flaws. Like, and the Bible tells us what love should endure, and what, you know, it's like really clear on what love looks like, what you should endure, how you should endure. You know, so it's like, if the Bible tells us these things, like, that's in complete opposition sometimes to the types of advice we follow from culture. And I'm not going to say that all culture is wrong, because, you know, I'm so glad that people are waking up to this idea of therapy and mental wellness. You know, so there's balance in it all. But I think that, you know, when you get advice from your therapist or your coach or your circle, you still got to, you know, like, bounce
it off the word.
You got to bounce it off the word. And if it don't line up, it's like, as a believer, I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, like, I can't do that.
No, that's so good, because like I said, a lot of people are woke right now, and a lot of believers are becoming, like, okay, comfortable with this whole therapy thing, and talking and feeling and sharing emotions and feeling what you feel. And it is very easy to not want to think to go to the Bible, because, you know, well, my therapist said this, and they know the way, and if they said this, then that's final. And it's like, no, we always have to remember that the Bible is final say so, and we're literally talking for the believers. For our unbelievers, this is not a standard that you live by. You know,
absolutely.
So these things really don't apply to you, but you also should be careful, I think, in the boundary lines of it all. To bounce it off of something. Like, it has to be bounced off of something, because I feel like we can also create a line that is still unhealthy because of the hurt.
Absolutely. And even like you said, like, so we're talking about, to the believers, about bouncing off the word. But then when you're healing culture's way, like, you got to look at the other side. Like, where is this going to land us? Like, for me, as a mother-daughter coach, like, I'm hyper concerned for where the direction we going. Because like, some of the daughters that I meet, you know, just because of the generational differences, I'm like, we talking about our moms are narcissistic, but we're turning into narcissists. We are becoming so self-centered, self-focused, loving ourselves. Like, we removing our family. Like, I'm taking my kids away from my family or my mama because she didn't do this right to me. But it's like, okay, but this kid is not about to have a grandmother because you mad. Like, how you know that this lady ain't even different? She could be a whole different grandmother than she was a mother. So it's like, even if you're not thinking about the Bible's way, like, it's not all about you. And then you forget, like, this is a whole nother human being, like, that had a life and some experiences. That lived based on the resources and the knowledge that they had, and you're literally throwing them away. So for me, I'm like, I ask often now, like, so you're mad at your mom for abandoning you as a child, but the answer is to abandon her as an adult. And then an abandonment, clearly, if you abandon whoever abandoned, y'all both gonna be hurt. You could do the abandonment, but you still gonna have the pain of it. You're like throwing your mother away. You're gonna have a hole. You're gonna have a hole.
Oh, Tierra,
like,
good. Jesus,
like,
Lord, that's so good.
I don't understand.
And it shows that, you know, how we cannot allow our emotions. Our emotions we can have them. They're not a sin. But I feel like they cannot lead every decision, because that literally comes from, I believe, an emotional decision because you're feeling what you're feeling, and you say, from this, get away. Instead of processing, instead of, you know, striving for the reconciliation, striving for what is healthy. And that is so crazy that we don't even think about. You're so busy focused on getting this person away from you, what else is doing, because it's so above us, especially once we have children. It's so above us because, first of all, they're watching us. Our children are watching us.
And learning our responses.
And learning our responses.
This is how you deal with conflict.
And this generation that's coming up, they actually, I ain't gonna say worse than us, but they're very aware more than we are, and that accountability is crazy. And I don't mean crazy in a bad way. It's crazy in a way that make you go sit and say, oh, I'm not doing this right. Like, even in all my work of that I'm trying to do, I'm still not getting it right. Because they pull out things like, but that still don't make sense. You know, and which I think is beautiful. Because it makes us, where they do it without a rage, because our generation gonna do it to our mothers with rage.
Absolutely.
With our babies, they are just like, so I got questions.
Yeah, it's just not adding up.
It's
math ain't math in mine.
right.
I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that we really have to, this is why I think it's so important for us as believers to really stay prayed up. Because it takes a humble ear to hear the hard things, to receive the hard things, especially when you're dealing with the mother-daughter dynamic. Because most things that we're going to talk about and deal with, it's not going to be easy to hear. And you have to choose to operate in the spirit and say, listen, this hurts, but what should I really be hearing? What is really being said, and how can I choose to not hurt again, but yet work at it? And it's hard.
It is hard because how do you do that while you're hurting? That's why I empathize with my daughters and my mothers. Like, I empathize with them. I sympathize with them because I'm there. I'm always like, look, I'm a fellow traveler on this road. I'm two steps ahead carrying the torch, but I'm not there. I'm right there with you. But so I know the goal is like, I just want this pain to go away. Even as far in my healing process as I am, in those moments where I want to be mothered in a very specific way that my mother don't have the capacity to. Like, I'm hurt. But I still have to love her for where she is. Like, I had a moment yesterday where with my mom, we were at a funeral and my mother was very emotional. And it was an honor. Like, it was an honor to share this moment with her. And this her little personal business. Maybe hopefully she don't be mad about this. But the thing, like, I'm like, Mom, why are you so emotional? I learned that the woman that we were, that this was my aunt who passed, but I learned that my mother, this woman, was there with my grandmother when she took her last breath. When my grandmother was killed, this lady held her hand. But I didn't know. Because I'm like, Mom, why is it? I know you love her, but you are like. And my mother said, Tierra, the memory of my mother dies today. All the stories I have was from her. And it was like,
Jesus.
Speechless for me. So for me, it's like, how could I throw this woman away?
Come on.
Like, she is God's daughter. She is a whole woman who had to live and raise these kids without a mother. Like, without a mother, and all of this pain. I said, so Ma, you just gonna push through because that's what you do. It's here. And it's like, this is what they're doing. So now for me, that's literally what I'm trying to get across to my daughters, especially like the millennials, like you said, and the, you know, like these Gen Zers, what they call them, Zennials, whatever. Like, I get it, y'all. I get that they're not serving you. I get it. I get that they don't know nothing in your mind. You know what I'm saying? I get that you make more money than them because your resources were different. Your opportunities were different. But they are valuable people. And you will harm yourself by throwing them away. Like, it's going to hurt you just as much as it hurt her. Like, it's a lose-lose situation.
You don't win. Nobody wins. Nobody. And I mean nobody at all, but Satan. Because he continues to win at dividing.
A family.
A family.
Like,
And that's what's wrong when you think about a lot that's going on. Our families. It's at the root of our families. When the families aren't together, it creates more and more loss of traditions. Good parts of the tradition,
Absolutely.
you know, of good foundation things, you know. And so it's so important. We're so quick to throw away that we don't understand that our kids won't have anything to stand on.
Oh my God.
They won't have anything to stand on. Yeah.
I think about that all the time. Like, look, I get it. Like, it's like if you think about it like a computer, like we supposed to optimize the system, but you don't just throw the whole thing
away.
You don't have time in one lifetime to build a complete system. That's the thing that I think people believe. Like, oh, I got time to discover how to be a good parent, be a good parent, and be a good grandparent in these 70, 80, and 90 years that you better hope and pray you make it. You don't have time for that. Like, you have to take what you've been given and make it better, but not criticize it to the point where you're throwing it all away. Like, we don't have that much knowledge. Like, it's a collective thing. Like, I don't understand. And I don't care if your mother was an addict. I don't care if your mother was in the streets. I don't care if she had 10 jobs. Like, okay, if your mother had 9 ex-husbands, you might not want to get marriage advice from her.
Right.
But she has something.
Some value.
It's still value in her. You know, like,
yeah. And that part, I think, is probably one of the hardest parts, is to still see that value.
Absolutely.
And I say that, you know, being completely honest, there was a point in the time of me and my mother's relationship where it was just like, well, girl, there were some things that you were missing.
And good.
And I don't think you can tell me anything about that.
Absolutely.
You know, but I was totally wrong, because the reality is she can speak from where she failed at. And had I just completely dismissed and not allowed that space, I would have missed out on the wisdom, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I want to speak to y'all daughters.
Absolutely.
Because we're all daughters. Even if you are a mother, you're still a daughter.
Absolutely.
You have to find a way to find that value in them. It's there, whether you feel like it or not. Even their failures is wisdom. Because it's telling you, like, hey, I did not do great at this. This is how you don't get to where I'm at.
Absolutely.
And they can teach you something. So really, really stop yourself. If you feel like you're sitting in that space, humble yourself.
Humble yourself.
If you feel like you're sitting in that space that your mother can't tell you anything or about a particular thing, just maybe not on the side that you desire for her to tell you. It's on the other side of this is where I went wrong, so don't do it this way. You know, go find somebody that can tell you the good way. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, don't do it this way because it wasn't helpful, you know. Yeah. And it's something that you said that I want to sit on and talk about. And I know this isn't on any of the questions, but you said when they don't have the capacity. That's probably
because that's a hard truth,
that's
right?
A hard
First of all, the first thing you got to lead with, we don't have the capacity for all that we think we got the capacity for either. So, but your mother may not have the capacity to like be who you want her to be. Like she really may not. You know, some of the mothers that I meet, like again, the dynamic of the generations, the daughters are achieving levels of success that their mothers could only dream of. You know, like they're traveling the world, they have their dream houses, their relationships are right. Like really you got this little old mom who's so meek and lack confidence, feeling like she's just worthless because she didn't sacrifice everything for you. First of all, she didn't chase her dreams. That's probably why you got more than her, because she stopped all that to get so you can get it. But now she feels so invaluable. But, you know, and you feel like she can't tell me now I make more money than her. I live in a better neighborhood than her. Me and my husband been together longest, you know, as longer than her relationships lasted. Her friendships this, she dressed like this, her hair this, her skin this. Like, what can she do for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, okay, she may not have the capacity to be that, but she is still your mother. And then really it's like, what are you really, like, are those things the qualifiers?
Right.
anyway.
Right.
You know, like, can she teach you integrity? Can she teach you how to be a woman of your word? Can she, you know, show you how to
endure?
Endurance, sacrifice. Like, I mean, there's so many other skills that a mother teach you outside of, you know, like her external possessions. And I think that we have to start to find more value, you know, in that. Like, because I think that if we do, then we'll have a more accurate measure of their capacity. Yeah. But then, you know, and once you do get that accurate measurement, and honestly, how accurate will it be? Because it's to your standard. But,
right.
You know, then it's like, then you can bury this idea of the relationship you want, so you can have the capacity to embrace the one you actually have. Like, you'll never really be able to embrace what you have until you bury what you wanted, what you thought you wanted, you know?
Yeah. I love that. I mean, I love this topic so much. And, you know, me and Tierra have spent years, y'all, talking about this, even in our own journey.
Absolutely. Before Mended was a thing.
Yes, before Mended was a thing. You know, just trying to get it right.
Absolutely.
And not that we have gotten it completely right. Yeah. But just the work at it. And I want to encourage y'all, y'all not going to wake up tomorrow and just be like, I got it. It's gonna be a journey. I'll say this, what is 3 things that you can give them that may be in a rocky spot with their mothers or their daughters, and they are trying to be on this journey of healing? What are 3 things that you can give them to hold on to? And take your time thinking about it. No rush. You know, what are 3 things?
3 things that they could hold on to.
Or practice, or be aware of, or think about. Just something that you give to your mother and daughters.
Trying to give 3.
Right. Or whatever you got, sis. Whatever. We going to take whatever.
I mean, because I really do. I want it to be practical advice. Yeah. Like, honestly, I think that if you are in a rocky spot, if you want to heal with your mom, your daughter, like, the first thing really is that, like, that humbling yourself, like taking a real look, like, at yourself, like, not like a worldly look, like, but like, where are you? Yeah. Where are you? Because I think that emotional pain does have to heal, but it has to start on the inside of the individual to even prepare you, like, for the thoughts of entertainment, like, entertaining a thought of, like, reconciliation with her, you know. But then I also, like, I always say, every woman should carry, like, the hope that this can be mended. Like, you need the hope. Like, you have to have the belief that this can be fixed, you know, and it probably won't be fixed how you envisioned it, but it can be a beautiful, chaotic story, you know. But then that third thing, I would say, like, when you taking a look at yourself and when you, like, grabbing hold to your hope, like, I want this to work and I believe that it can, you have to begin to, like, make room in your heart, like, for her to change. Yeah. Like, you have to make room for her, you know, to change. And that's like a whole list of stuff, the whole grace and empathy, you know, and forgiveness and acceptance and all of those things. But you can't freeze her in time. And I'm talking to moms and daughters, like, want to be different. You have to not freeze her in time and believe that she can change and make space for her to change. And daughters the same way, like, no matter how your mother has shown up, like, if you in your heart want her to show up differently, you have to start making a room in your heart. Like, you can't believe what the world is telling you. Like, once a narcissist, always a narcissist. A narcissist is incurable. Like, hopelessness won't get you nothing. Nothing. I don't care if you believe or not. What you don't believe in, it was dead. Period. You know, like, you definitely have to, like, just make space for each other. Like, make space for each other and lead with love. Like, lead with like pure love. Love.
Yes, because love covers.
It covers all. Like, it really does. And it don't keep the score that we keeping. Like, it will cancel the score.
Yeah.
Like, that will no longer matter.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and leading with love will allow, you know, God because he got to heal your heart. Like, mended.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Psalms 147:3, he will bind up the
wounds
and mend the broken heart.
Yeah.
You know, like, you lead with love and he will be able to mend you so that you and her can be mended. But y'all can't be mended until you're mended.
Yeah, that's good. It starts first with you.
Yeah.
Ooh, so y'all, we got humble, we have hope, and we got heart.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know that was 3 H's, girl. Go!
Yes. Humble, hope, and heart. Those 3 H's.
Yes.
Hold on to them. This was beautiful, y'all. And it's still so much more to be had with this conversation. We will definitely have another conversation about this. Because we didn't even get to the other part that we really wanted to talk about. But it will come soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the sacrifice.
Thank you.
To have to go through and say, okay, yes, Lord, this pain, you can turn it to ministry.
Yeah.
You can use me, God. You can use me, God. It's going to free and continue to free so many mothers, so many daughters. Stay encouraged, because I can only imagine how tiring this work could be, but yet fulfilling. So stay encouraged. Y'all, if you can tell us how they can reach you, your website, book, many of things.
Okay, so on social media, Instagram, I am Tierra Banks. I think. Yeah. I am Tierra Banks on Instagram and TikTok. And Mended Inc. CLE on Instagram or Facebook. My website is mendedrelationships.com. My book is there. Everything about me is there. So connect with me, please.
Yes. So y'all, thank you for tuning in. Until next week, please share this, y'all. It's Mother's Day week.
Absolutely.
So please go share it. Go sit with your mama. Go sit with your daughter. And see how this can spark a conversation amongst you guys.
Yes.
We love y'all. Reach out if you need some assistance.
Absolutely.
She's amazing. She will walk with you.
Thank you.
And yes, subscribe. Ding the bell. Thank you. Take care.
I forgot which one.
All of them.